taken from their 5th studio album from back in 1998. This is My Truth, Tell Me Yours. That was the Manic Street Preachers. And if you tolerate this, just gone 8:30 now on Citybeat. Emma here with you right through until 10 o'clock. So yes, that was a bit of a classic from the Manics. They are now back with a brand new album. It is called Postcards from a Boy, where the brand new single Just the End of Love is taken from. And I am absolutely delighted to say, chatting to me now from a studio far, far away, hopefully, fingers crossed, is the fabulous Mr. James Dean Bradfield. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. Lovely to have you on the line.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You haven't been here now in a couple of years. It's been a while, but you're back with a brand new album at the minute, brand new single, which I am loving. It's great. It's so different from everything else at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's perhaps there is an old school kind of like classic rock nature to our new single. It's our 10th album, you know, and we felt as if we need to be really true to ourselves on this record, and this is kind of going back to the version of sometimes what we've done as a band, whether it be, you know, Everything Must Go or Send Away the Tigers. You know, we've always had the element of just being a rock band that is kind of drenches its music in melancholia and melodrama, and that's always been one of our natural kind of like sounds, and we've gone back to it for our 10th album, which is good, because it's good to have an escapist nature to what you do sometimes. It makes you feel as if you're flying along with the music. It's
been almost 20 years, really, hasn't it? You've all been together?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, obviously we've known each other for such a long time. Sean is my cousin and virtually my brother, and I've known him all my life. And Nick's kind of, well, you know, been in my life since I was about 5 years old. And I knew when Richey was around, I knew him from when I was about 10 as well. So that is unbelievable that you could all be friends for that long and then go on to be bandmates for even longer. And yeah, it is hard to believe, but I think it's the reason why we've been in the band for such a long time, because we were all friends before we were bandmates.
You're actually one of those bands that any band that I've interviewed, you know, you ask who influences and stuff are, and you lot always come up. It's always Manic Street Preachers. Manic Street Preachers are always the band that a lot of people sort of try and emulate.
Wow, I mean, kind of, I never come across that in kind of in Wales. People never say it, so I'm quite shocked at that, you know. I think sometimes we haven't been what you would call a musician's band, because we've been quite gobby in the past, and this always been a bit of a sideshow to what we do in terms of melodrama and stuff. So sometimes I think people have shied away from being the type of band that we are, because they think there's a bit too much misery involved.
But you know, it's one of those things. We had Stereophonics here, obviously from Wales as well, fellow Welsh band, and they were here the other night, and I've spoken to them before, and they've said they always have you up on a pedestal, and you helped them out when they were starting as well.
I mean, kind of, yeah, it's kind of, I mean, kind of, it's really strange, you know, kind of everybody from, there was a dearth of bands that were coming out from, there weren't many bands coming out of Wales for a long time. Around about the time in 1985, it just felt as if there was a bit of a cultural vacuum in Wales, because I think, you know, what was happening with the Conservative government was really affecting the place that we came from. There was a lot of kind of tawdriness and misery there, because lots of people were being made unemployed and stuff. And so there was a bit of an uphill battle when we first came out of Wales, because it didn't feel as if there was a precedent set for bands coming out of Wales traditionally at that point. And I suppose the only thing that we did help was that we encouraged people to come across the Severn Bridge and see if there were bands in Wales. But kind of a band like Stereophonics, you know, went on to sell more records than we did internationally. Wow. You know, I kind of like, and you know, kind of I always doff my cap to them, because I think Kelly's kind of got the slight kind of Welsh kind of short underdog thing that I've got, kind of thing. Though Kelly will always say that he's, you know, that he's kind of half an inch taller than me. But kind of, you know, I think that's the only thing we ever achieved for other bands that came in our wake, is that we encouraged people to come over the bridge. But bands like the Phonics were bands that were just waiting to sell millions of records. You just needed people to come to Wales to see if the talent was there.
There's a lot of talent coming out of Wales, though. There really is. Just got to talk about this brand new album. This, as you said, is your 10th studio album. It's called Postcards from a Young Man. You, Nicky sings on a couple of these as well. He sings on one of the tracks.
Yes, he does.
You also have Duff McKagan former Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, we have.
How'd that happen?
Well, kind of Duff presented us with a lifetime achievement award at the Mojo Music Awards, and we were just like, wow, you know. I mean, kind of Duff was one of Nick's big bass playing heroes, along with Paul Simonon from The Clash, when he was young, and the fact that he was there presenting us with the award was just really an honour for us. And then he just asked if I'd play with his band, Hammersmith Odeon, because he knew I was a big Guns N' Roses fan, and he asked if I'd come on stage and play It's So Easy with him, which is a famous Guns N' Roses song.
Yeah.
So I did so, and I was still kind of like walking in a daze thinking, wow, you know, Duff McKagan, King of Beers, is playing, you know, has asked me to play in his band. And then I just asked a return favour. I said, hey Duff, you know, we've got this song which we think you'd be really cool for. It's got this little punk edge to it, and that's his background. He grew up as a kind of punk, kind of as a punk in Seattle. And he just said yes. He was like, hey man, cool, I'll do anything you want. And so it just shows sometimes, you know, you do treat people like heroes, rightly so, but you think that they won't collaborate with you, and it just shows that you just got to ask sometimes, because they're just, a lot of the time, you know, a lot of these people are left in isolation because people just look at them on their pedestal and they don't dare touch them. And everybody we asked to contribute something to this record said yes. So it just goes to show, really.
Now you're going to tour, you're going to do a UK tour with this record, but you're not coming here.
No, I mean, kind of, over the years we've absolutely and utterly just always come to Ireland. We've always kind of like come to Northern Ireland, especially in terms of playing Belfast, because we've always had great gigs in Belfast. And then naturally we've always made the trip down south and played in Ayr and played in Dublin and stuff. And you know, I have amazing memories of playing Belfast, especially in the King's Hall and the Mandela Hall at the university. It's kind of, I don't think we've played a bad gig there ever, but we felt as if we just had, if you look at the tour we're doing, we're playing lots of places that we haven't been for a long time. So perhaps that explains why we're not playing in Northern Ireland on this tour, but we will come back at a different time, definitely.
Good stuff. Well, we are playing, I'm going to use it as my single of the week, Just the End of Love, brand new single, and good luck with the album. Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure to speak to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Privilege. Thank you, Emma. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.